exactly as, Gauri goes ahead and makes it exactly as Nandana wants it, right? So that is what is known as visualization. Your ability to visualize the requirement of another person, and that garment does not exist, but you have to be able to see it in your head. The same is for product, same is for a poster, any discipline of design. The same thing applies. I just took an example of a garment. All right, so visualization is an ability. So if I keep on talking, you guys will get bored. So I have a small activity for you. All of you have a pencil and paper. I'll give you 2 minutes to go grab a pencil and a paper. Okay, now, can you visualize a cube which is 3.5 inches? The dimension of the cube is 3.5 inches. Can you visualize a cube like that? Okay, if you're not able to, take a scale. Okay, you have a steel ruler. You know what 3.5, how much do you think? Do you think it's the length of your finger or a little more than that? You can check it on the scale. So you know exactly how much a 3.5, oh sorry, it's an inch. 3.5 inches, did I say centimeter? It is inch, 3.5 inches cube. And I would like you to draw the cube on a piece of paper. You know how to draw a cube, everybody? Simple. We do it all the time in school as kids. Maria, no paper? Ashwin, do you have a paper? Yeah, good. Draw a cube. All of you know how to draw a cube? Very simple. Just draw a square first. Cube is a 3D version of a square. So you have a cube like this, right? Okay, now this cube can be any size, what you're drawing on paper. You can also draw the back of the cube, which you cannot see. You can visualize and draw it with dotted lines over here. Can you see the cube? Okay, now this cube is supposed to be 3.5 inches big, which means how big is it? Probably this size. Can you visualize a 3.5 inches big cube? Look at your scale. I don't have a scale, but I think roughly around this much of a pencil. Okay, a cube has got all sides equal. So visualize a cube which is about this size, like which sort of fits into the palm of your hand. All right, that's also visualization. When I give you measurements, you should be able to tell me how big the cube is going to be actually. All right, now you have a cube like this. I want you to explore different forms or visualize in how many different ways can you use this cube in order to be able to make a personal organizer. You know what a personal organizer is? Something which you can keep on a desktop. So it has to have a space to contain 4 of your personal things. Now personal things could be like, now looking at you, Nandana has got earplugs. So she wants to store it in the personal organizer. Somebody else will have a mobile phone. Some of you will have pencils. Some of you might have glasses. Okay, any 4 objects, erasers, anything. Okay, any 4 objects, you need to make a container or a organizer to hold these 4 objects using this cube. Now this cube is not to be used like this, right? I mean, if you're going to be using it like this, you will keep something on top of this. That's about it. But what if you could cut out bits of it, make it hollow? Okay, can you make this hollow, this part? Are you able to see my drawing? Suppose this part is hollow. So you can insert things. Suppose if I have a pull-out drawer here, are you able to see? One second, are you guys able to see what I've drawn? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay, fine. So I can have a pull-out drawer like this, right? What else can I do? If I have a cube, I can have probably a hollow, small little section here so that I can stack my sheets, post-it notes or something like that over here. I can put post-it notes inside this. I can have hollows inside into which I can probably put my pencils. Okay, I can flip this on this side. This part, I can flip it on this side. So what do I get? Maybe I get a hollow container like this here, maybe like a lid. Okay, and I can keep things inside this. So you have to, what I'm asking you to do is play around with that cube, pull out stuff, remove parts, add those parts which you have removed on top. Say for example, what is the shape of the part which I pull out of this? What do you think the shape would be if I pull out something from here, this cut piece? What shape do you think it will be? What will go inside this? What, see, I have made a hollow here, right? And it is supposed to run all through. So the piece which I'm pulling out, what shape would that be? Come on, I've drawn it for you.
Cylinder.
Cylinder, yes. So you will get a cylinder, right? Which you pulled out from this shape. Now, how can you use the cylinder? Maybe I can attach the cylinder over here to give this part support. This cylinder, which I pulled out from here, I'm attaching it here to give support to this part. Now, even in architecture, you use these kind of visualizations. In product design, you use it a lot. Okay, so this is the activity which I want you all to do. I'm giving you 10-15 minutes. Have you understood what is to be done? You have to take the cube, you have to pull out shapes from it. You can pull out cylinders, you can pull out circles, like I can even cut probably this part of it in a circular way. So what do I get? I get something like this. I can pull out something like this. So in different ways, I pull out shapes, I deconstruct it, and I rearrange it so that I can get an interesting organizer in which I can keep at least 4 items which I use on a daily basis. Am I clear? So go ahead and start. I'm giving you 10 to 15 minutes. You will have to have number of explorations, not just one. You can see a few samples here on the screen in case you want to get inspired. But yeah, do your own thing. Everyone, please name yourselves correctly. You need to go to participants on the Zoom platform. Those of you who don't have your name correctly displayed, please go to participants, right click or put the cursor along your name, and you will find this option called more. Under that, there is an option called rename. So please rename yourselves. I have a Redmi. Please rename, otherwise I'll have to remove you. Anybody now, any doubts? Are you able to figure out what to do? If you have a doubt, just show me what you're doing. I can help you. Are you finding some interesting shapes, interesting ideas? while you're doing this, don't forget that it is something which you actually need to use. So take care of human interaction, how you are going to actually use. If suppose your glasses are there, it should not scratch. It should be, what do you say, safe from breakage. You should be able to take it out easily and put it back easily. So those kind of human interactions also have to be kept in mind. Anybody wants to show me? Aaron, you want to show me what you did?
I didn't complete.
Okay, show me what you did anyways. So this is just a 1 hour class. Honestly, you can't really do much. Oh, nice. Very nice. Guys, have a look at what he's done. Keep it there. Good. Definitely you're able to visualize. Good. Okay, thanks, Aaron. Go ahead, continue. I think you will get something good out of that. You should try different explorations. So right now you're only doing, what do you say, straight lines, horizontal, boxy shapes. What if you have to take up, pull out triangular shapes out of it? Okay, take it to the next level, advanced. Think about other kinds of shapes you can pull out. What about organic forms? Okay. Just like, with this cube, the possibilities are virtually endless. You can do any number. Yeah, Merlin?
Ma'am, can I tell what I've done?
Yes.
It's a bit messy, but I think I could explain it.
Okay, sure. Okay. I can sort of understand what you've done. These are drawers, Merlin.
Okay, ma'am.
Most of these are drawers, right? Okay,
No,
explain.
ma'am. Ma'am, from the third face of this cuboidal side, I have hollowed out a square sheet,
Okay.
which I have cut it into two rectangular pieces and have made two slabs over here.
Okay.
So that we could store something which is something big in size.
Yes.
Then I have hollowed out a drawer from here.
Yeah.
So that I could store some sort of little things like my paint tin, something, etc. Then from the rest of the space which is left over here, I have hollowed out a square, cuboidal square like this. Then also a rectangular.
What are you going to do with those?
And I have also hollowed out three spaces, three square spaces from this cuboidal piece. And I have kept it right over here.
Okay.
So that I could store something in that spaces too.
Okay, okay. Small issues here, Merlin. That would be really so small. What kind of a thing are you going to put there?
Ma'am, something like the sort of fabric paint tins.
Fabric?
Paint tins or erasers, rubbers, anything.
What? Yeah, okay. Now see, there's also something else which is tied up to this, that is scale, the size. You should be able to visualize. This is a 3.5-inch cube. Okay, which means that each of these would be how much? Each of these little small blocks which you have taken out of the small cuboidal structure, how much are, what is the size going to be like? Half inch. It would be about around 1/2 inch is what my guess is. What you have drawn. So 1/2 inch is pretty small. So you have to think about what you can do with that. Scale has to go hand in hand with the visualization. It's not, you have definitely a good attempt. But what I'm saying is it's for everybody. You also have to pay attention to the scale. How big are these things going to be? Okay, which you're pulling out and pushing in, and shapes which you're taking out, what is the size? And then you have to find a relevant use for that. Okay, but it's a good attempt. Only way you can improve, one of the things you can do to improve this is, of course, scale you have to keep in mind, but also try to make it look more aesthetically appealing, visually appealing. Like it has to look beautiful. Okay, right now it's looking mess. You have just randomly taken out spaces and blocks without really thinking about how it's going to look. So the next level is to rearrange it so that it also looks good. So it has to start looking nice to the eyes also.
Okay, ma'am.
So try another one. Go ahead and do one more. This is like, don't stop with one. Like I said, lateral thinking. You have to have multiple answers to the same thing. So one answer is not enough. This is the first thought which came to your head. Many people will do similar stuff. Can you make yours unique by trying something else? Think of various other possibilities. Like I said, think of other kinds of shapes. Think of things which can rotate. Think of things which can flip open. So various other possibilities can be added to this, because otherwise this is very commonplace, right? It is what most people are going to do. So make yours unique by thinking a little bit more and finding some other interesting things which you can incorporate. Who else? Anybody else is done? Ashwin, you want to show us anything? Come on. Whatever you've done. Have you finished your 10th? What are you doing currently? Unmute. Let me unmute you. Yeah. What are you doing currently, Ashwin?
Finance
എന്നാ പഠിക്കുന്നത്? ആ എന്നാ പിന്നെ കാണട്ടെ. നല്ല അടിപൊളി വിഷ്വലൈസേഷൻ കാണുമല്ലോ.
ഞാൻ വരച്ചിട്ടില്ലായിരുന്നു, പക്ഷേ എനിക്കൊന്നും കേൾക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ലായിരുന്നു, ക്ലിയർ അല്ലായിരുന്നു.
ഓ, ഏത് ഇയറാ പഠിക്കുന്നത്?
4th year, ലാസ്റ്റ് ഇയർ.
ഓ റിയലി? മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സിന് അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാനാ?
മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ്
ഏതാ, പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആണോ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേഷൻ ആണോ?
വിഷ്വൽ.
ഓക്കെ, അപ്പം പിന്നെ അത്രയും പ്രശ്നമില്ല. പക്ഷെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഡിസൈനേഴ്സിന് ഇത് വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആണ്, ഇപ്പം പറഞ്ഞ കാര്യം. അപ്പം ബേസിക്കലി ഒരു ക്യൂബ് എടുത്തിട്ട് അതിനെ ഡിഫറെന്റ് കമ്പോണൻസ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ വിഷ്വലൈസ് ചെയ്യുക. ആ ക്യൂബിന്റെ ചെറിയ പീസസ് ഫിസിക്കലി നമ്മൾ വിഷ്വലൈസ് ചെയ്യണം. ശരിക്കും നമ്മുടെ ഇടയിൽ ഒരു വുഡൻ ക്യൂബ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്തൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റും. സോ ചില പാർട്സ് ഒക്കെ ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന രീതിയിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കാം, ചിലത് ഹോളോ ഔട്ട് ചെയ്യാം, ചില പീസസ് പുൾ ഔട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അതിനെ വേറെ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും ഒക്കെ അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്യാം. അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ബ്ലോക്ക് കിട്ടിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അതുകൊണ്ട് എങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ഒരു നല്ല ഒരു പേഴ്സണൽ ഓർഗനൈസർ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിംഗ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഓക്കെ, അത് ട്രൈ ചെയ്യാം. Nandana, what about you? Wait, let me unmute you. You really think I'm into lip reading, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, show me your work.
Not done yet. Can I explain you?
I can see one drawer pulled out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here I had three designs, and what I'm thinking is that when we put a scroll like that of a mouse, scrolling time, so that a square box pull out, and so that we can here divide 3 or more spaces to keep some things. That's handled by a scrolling machine, like that we see on a computer mouse.
Okay, one second. I'm not able to enlarge your video for some reason. Hold on. Okay. All right. Yeah. Now you show me. Yes. Once again. Can you explain that once again, Nandana? Sorry, I was on a different, visual, so I couldn't see what you've done. Okay. Tell me again.
This is that scrolling system. Scrolling system. Yeah. When we put down a scrolling system, a square machine comes things up, such as when you're scrolling down, a part comes out, and then we can put the our equipments, maybe using for office or just like many things. That's the first design I have made.
Okay.
And then when I'm moving to the second one, first of all, here I had a hollow space, circular, and then use that it as a base, so that the cube stands on the space, so that we can use every edges as a point to keep objects.
Oh, okay.
Standing on, it is not standing on the square space, but on the corner.
Okay. So
I wish that the corner should be.
Yeah, but how would you place something on that?
Then it would be like if we are putting out a triangular inversely, we can put here tissue papers or something like that. It should be standing on this edges. So we can use.
See,
yes, ma'am.
Nandana, there is a small issue with this. First of all, your sketch is not self-explanatory. Okay, so it means that you have to explain a lot to be able to communicate what you're trying to say. So you need to. That is also a point. This sketching is a tool to help you talk less and us to understand faster. So you have to show this not only from one angle, but you should be able to draw it from 2 or 3 different angles. You should be able to, show things kept on it as well. Understood? So when you draw from 2 or 3 different angles, it becomes very easy for me to understand, and you don't have to talk. So the same thing, I would like you to draw with the object placed on it. Can you do that?
Yeah. Okay.
Can you put something on the corners? I understood it seems like a nice idea. What I understood is you're going to have the block which is resting on one corner and not on the side, so that you have all these different corners pointing out, which is definitely out of the box. And you're also chopping off or making hollows or something like that at the corners. That part is what I don't understand. If you hollow out those corners, how are you going to keep, what kind of things are you going to keep? So to help me understand, you need to actually draw it out.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
What happens is, I don't have time to do this, and this is just a demo session, but what happens is things like perspective drawing and isometric orthographic drawings and these kind of explorations help you visualize and translate that visualization on paper. Like perspective is a very important tool. If you know perspective, you should be able to draw things like this much more easily. Okay, so with these kind of drawing practices, you will be able to show what you have in your mind. So we do that in the long-term course, our full-time course, but now today I will not be able to do that. So you have to develop that skill where you are able to actually depict what you want to say. That is visual. You have that visualization. Now drawing is a tool which needs to, with which you need to be able to communicate that visualization. Understood? If I had not drawn and shown you an example, it would have taken you so much more time to understand what I was trying to say. And she did not have to say anything. I was able to understand what he's trying to do very easily. But Merlin had to explain, but hers was also not so much of a requirement, just for a few things. So your drawing has to be able to explain. That is, you don't have to be great artists in order to clear NID or NIFT. No, definitely not. You don't have to do a BFA course. Ashwin, I'm sure, is great at drawing. But yeah, but that drawing skill alone is not going to get him into a design college. You need to have ideas and you need to be able to express, communicate in the right manner. Okay, you have to be able to express what you want to say correctly. And for that, the tool is drawing, because we are not going to be going there with our paper and explaining whatever we have done to the examiners, right? We are going to be sitting back and our paper has to do all the talking to the examiner. So you have to make sure you draw enough, you draw from different angles, and you explain what you are trying to say accurately just through your drawings. Okay. Guys, I think time is up. This is a very short session. So I'm going to leave you, and I don't want you to stop doing this activity. It is a very interesting activity. You can actually create a nice organizer for yourself. Keep exploring the shapes. There is so much to discover. You have just touched the periphery. You work on this cube. There are millions of possibilities of how you can make things out of this just one cube. Okay. And the more you do, better your visualization is going to get. So, okay, now, as you all know, I am from AFD India. I am the academic director, and this is how we take our classes. We have weekend and regular classes, and coaching centers are not allowed to start physical classes till at least September, and maybe even beyond, because even schools, as you must be knowing, yesterday I think the 12th standard results have been, the remaining exams have been cancelled. And the results are going to be declared based on whatever you have scored in the exams which you have already written, which means that schools are not going to be opening very soon. Okay, so the only means of education right now is online, and online platform is actually works out quite well for us. You can what we have is we do our classes on Google Classroom. I don't know, some of you might be already familiar with it. So we have live sessions on Zoom, and we have assignments on Google Classroom. So we give all our assignments, reading materials, and all our videos and other things which we post online. And you can, and the assignments are submitted, assigned to each student. You do your assignment, take a picture of your work and upload it. And then we share our screen and we discuss your work with you. Okay, so you get a one-on-one feedback. You get to see what other people have done. And you can revisit any homework. Like, if there is no question of trying to, miss, I lost those notes. No, you cannot say that, because all your notes are on Google Stream. Okay, even class recordings are there. So in case you missed a video, you can't say, ma'am, I was absent that day. No, sorry, that is not an acceptable excuse anymore, because you can always go and watch the video of that class, and you still have to do those assignments. Okay, so your teaching becomes very systematic. Also, the other benefit which I've noticed is that we are able to share a lot of resources with you, videos and links and so many things. If you have the time and the determination and you go through all that, definitely your level of expertise or knowledge about design is going to increase drastically. Okay, so online platform is something you guys can consider if you're seriously preparing for entrance exams next year. So we have weekend classes, we have regular classes. Regular classes are 5 days a week. The new batch, I think, is 5 to 7 in the evenings. So even if you're doing other things in the morning, like you're doing your school work or you are working somewhere, you can still, you know, do the evening 5 to 7 classes, or you can do Saturday, Sundays. Saturday, Sundays, again, we have classes 5 to 7 as well as 2 to 4. Okay. So figure out and let us know if you're interested in joining any of our classes. Otherwise, the next demo session is going to be next week, next Sunday, same time. Okay. So guys, bye-bye. Hopefully see you guys around. Take care.